Hello and welcome to BlueTube, where we talk all things blue. Before I go on today, once again there will not be a transfer talk video today, just simply due to the lack of activity and the lack of news regarding Chelsea's transfers. However, there has been a plethora of news about Chelsea, not in terms of transfers, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And one of them, in fact, like the big headline news, and I'm sure you've heard about it because it's everywhere right now, it's the whole thing with Eva Carneiro and Jose Mourinho and just the whole medical department dispute that's going on. And if you guys haven't heard about it, let me just briefly break this down for you. So in Chelsea's 2-2 draw against Swansea, in the 70-something minute or something, when Chelsea were down to 10 men, Hazard got knocked down to the ground, and referee Michael Oliver called the medical team over. And the medical team usually have a choice whether to go on or not. And the ruling is, the football rule is, if the medical team does step onto the pitch, then that player must go off for the next play. So that means, so if the medical team went onto the pitch, Hazard would have to come off, leaving Chelsea with 9 players for a brief amount of time. And Eva Carneiro, along with John Fern, who are the 2 physios at our club, ran onto the pitch. And Mourinho was absolutely furious. You could just see, he looked like he was gonna knock someone out. And I'll leave a link to the video down below. I'm sure you've seen it already. Because it's just gone viral. And after the game, in his, not in his press conference, but in his post-match interview, he said, my medical department doesn't understand the game. The minute they stepped onto the pitch, I was reduced to 9 players. And he just heavily criticized the physios at Chelsea. And that's, brought some dispute over whether Mourinho was right to say that or whether he was wrong. And just until about, 1 or 2 days after the incident, my thought was, it was just all in the heat of the moment. Maybe Mourinho was in the wrong for criticizing his players like that, because in Hazard, as a medic, the players, fitness and the players' health comes first, regardless of tactics and stuff. But I can understand Mourinho's frustrations, and I thought it was just something in the heat of the moment. I'm sure Mourinho is going to apologize to Eva Carneiro and John Fern behind the scenes, and everything will be fine. But no, today, some breaking news. It's absolutely sensational. Eva Carneiro has been axed from Chelsea's bench. She's not allowed to attend any of Chelsea's football games. She's not allowed to go into the team's hotel prior to matches, and her role is just reduced to her working from Cobham and treating players there, which is our training ground, Cobham. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what's gone wrong here, but my initial thought is this: there is something going on behind the scenes at Chelsea that we just don't know about. Because this is huge. This is massive. I mean, I understand Mourinho coming out after the game, being angry with the medics and saying, we were down to 9 players. They shouldn't have done that. I get that. But now the fact that her role has been so reduced, and she's not sacked, by the way. I hear some people saying, Eva Carneiro sacked, but no. Her role's just been, drastically reduced. And for this to happen, I don't think it's simply just that one incident that could have made such a huge situation as it is right now. And I'm sure there's something going on behind the scenes personally between Mourinho and Eva Carneiro. And what makes me think that is because John Fern, the other physio that ran onto the pitch, nothing's been done against him. And in fact, John Fern ran onto the pitch first. If you see the video carefully, he runs onto the pitch first, and Eva Carneiro simply just follows him. So if anything, Mourinho should be angry at John Fern, not Eva Carneiro. So it's just very, very confusing. I know for a fact, my heart tells me, it's not simply just that one incident at Swansea. Maybe there was something building up from before. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there was just something happening behind the scenes. Mourinho's not happy with Eva Carneiro for whatever reason, and I think that is what has led to this. And that brings into question the entire internals at Chelsea right now, because I feel like just something tells me that everything is not well internally at Chelsea, because the lack of transfer business, along with this whole situation right now, it just feels wrong. You know, Mourinho is usually the type of manager that likes to get his players in the transfer window very, very early. And, you know, he likes to be very, very critical with the squad. And if he does see an area where we need strengthening, he goes out and strengthens that area. And nothing has happened this season. And this preseason has shown that we do need strengthening in multiple areas. And nothing's happened. And in fact, just a day or two ago, I did bring to you the news that apparently Jose Mourinho is fuming internally at the lack of transfer business, and is just mad at the club for not doing anything. And now there's this, which is absolutely crazy in my opinion. And you know, I can't really make any assumptions here, but the press seems to be saying that this is all Mourinho's actions. It's Mourinho who's taken the decision to reduce Eva Carneiro's role at Chelsea. And if that is the case, you know, as much as I love Mourinho, I think he's in the wrong here. I just don't know. As a Chelsea fan, I'm not happy about this. I don't feel, as I've said, I don't feel like the club is at a very good place right now. I don't know. Let me know of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Because just this entire summer there's just been something nagging at me, and this has just confirmed it. And, you know, if the only thing that tells me that, you know, the relations are fine is the fact that Mourinho just recently signed a new 4-year deal with the club. And that tells me, you know, everything's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong between Mourinho and the board. You know, he's not mad at them, they're not mad at him, everything's fine. But you gotta, you know, take into consideration everything that's happening, and this is truly, you know, crazy. This is a huge news. You know, Eva Carneiro being at Chelsea for the last 5 seasons, and especially last season, our physios were amazing. You know, they're remarkable. Our team was famous for not having any major injuries. I mean, if you think about it, apart from Diego Costa, you know, last season nobody had any real injuries, and you know, that was a really, really, you know, big point for us because our squad didn't have a lot of depth last season, and it was crucial that players stay fit, and they did. And a lot of credit, you know, the physio department, the medical department does deserve a lot of credit for that. And now to see this happening is crazy. So, yeah, come this Sunday, I think, yeah, Sunday against Manchester City, Eva Carneiro will not be on the bench. John Fern, apparently he will be on the bench, just Mourinho has talked to him privately, but nothing is going to happen to hugely change his role. But there are some outlets saying that John Fern isn't likely to be on the bench as well. So it's just very confusing right now. But as of now, it seems like he will be on the bench. It's just Eva Carneiro that'll have a change of role. Have a change of role. So it is interesting. I urge you guys to go read this. I'm gonna leave the link to this article as I always do, in the description down below. You should go read this. Definitely read this. I'll read the link to the video of Mourinho just going crazy during the Swansea game as well. And I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, and there's something else about Eva Carneiro just before I end the video. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it's yesterday. Eva Carneiro went to her Facebook page and posted, you know, thank you for all the support from you know, the general public. She put a Facebook post saying that. Because, you know, of course, since Mourinho has heavily criticized his medical team, and Eva Carneiro is such a famous figure in football, you know, just because of her gender and just the profile of the club that she works in, you know, she is a very, very, you know, high-profile person in terms of the footballing world. So, you know, a lot of people, the general public, have been saying, you know, you did nothing wrong, Mourinho has just gone crazy, right? And she went to Facebook to say thank you for the support from the general public, and that kind of, you know, made it clear that she thought Mourinho was in the wrong, and maybe that could have, you know, broken down relations between Mourinho and Eva Carneiro, and that could explain why John Fern isn't being punished, but Eva Carneiro has had her role, you know, drastically reduced. And as I said, she's not sacked, but, you know, it does bring into question, she's one of the most talented physios, you know, in world football right now. Let's not even question that. So, is she going to be happy with the reduced role at Chelsea right now? You know, I don't think so, and I really, really wouldn't be surprised to see her leave Chelsea, and that would be very, very sad. I really hope that doesn't happen. I really do hope that, you know, the whole saga about Eva Carneiro just does disappear and die down soon. But yeah, that's the news as it is right now. I'm not happy about it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I know a lot of people will share my opinion that Mourinho is in the wrong, that there might be some internal breakdowns and some internal tumult going on at Chelsea. But that remains to be seen. But let me tell you this, I think come this Sunday, if Chelsea go ahead and take 3 points from Manchester City, everyone's going to forget about everything. Everyone's just going to think, Chelsea's amazing, we're back on track, we love Mourinho, and everything about this, every negativity, all the internal problems that are being suggested, that's just going to die down if we beat Manchester City. However, I think if we lose against Man City, there could be some crazy drama. And I feel like there is something internally going on. And especially maybe some pressure on Mourinho or something, because if you just see his reaction against Swansea, I mean, it is opening game, and you never want to lose opening game. And to go down to 9 players against 11 men, that's not good. There's always a higher chance of conceding. But seeing Mourinho's reaction, it just shows, for me, I just get the feeling that there's something internally going wrong. And Mourinho, I feel like maybe internally he's under a lot of pressure or something, which could explain his reaction. But as I said, I'll leave links to everything down below. There won't be a transfer talk today because nothing's happened, unless Baba Rahman signs for Chelsea or something, because apparently that's imminent. So if something does happen, I will come out with a transfer talk video. But I don't think anything's gonna happen. So if nothing happens, this is the only video for today. So just tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is Mourinho in the wrong? Should Eva Carneiro have had her role so drastically reduced? I don't think so. I think it's unfair on her. I think Mourinho's in the wrong. But that's the news for today, and I'll probably be back with another video tomorrow. And until then, stay blue.